Bam, bam. All right. All right, we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it. Yes, I know I am. Thank you. Yeah, I was supposed to, take a break from streaming and stuff, but politicians want to get wrecked. Yes. Anyway, I know. Yes, I know. I know. It's a good song, but this just decided to be an interesting one. Now we're not going into the 5 hours ago one. Hang on. But yeah, it turns out that Starmer's now fronting an election of some kind, according to press and journalists. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. This was 3 hours ago.
And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. The House of Commons resumed today, and this morning's subject was quite an interesting one. That was with regard to migrant hotels. I've been saying it for a long time now that the British people do care about the migrant hotels. Of course they do. But Labour's alternative of just putting them into military barracks, HMOs, is not going to cure the problem. People are frustrated with the fact that they've got undocumented illegal men just going into their neighborhood at the load of 500 at a time. We've seen in Crowborough, their plan to take them out of hotels and put them in military barracks is not sufficient enough. They're trying to gaslight the nation and make people believe that people are outraged over the hotels. Yes, they are outraged over the hotels, but also outraged the fact that the illegals are being allowed to stay in their communities in whatever way, shape, or form of accommodation. We need...
I don't know what's worse. The fact that slit cum goblins like Demons harassed Emiru to bend the knee to state her opinion on some things he doesn't know about, which is politics. Or just how much politics right now has become a plague to society because of the people in it. Well, except from Reform UK. I think Reform UK is doing right by the people. As you could probably tell, I've seen the recent VOD that they did, and honestly, I'm very confident in a Reform UK government. Again, this is just a redo of a reaction, essentially, for the most part, for some people, but honestly, that's not really the case. I highly doubt it will be. But it is what Shabana has to say, and who she's now designed to work with. I don't know the names of Labour MPs. I'm already retarded enough on different types of autism because of my hobbies. I don't need to know the names of politicians. All I know is is that the guy who sided with Shabana is a Labour MP, and they're just as bad, if not worse, than her. So keep that in mind. Also, if you want to see my initial reaction and also re-upload it, there is a VOD on the Twitch channel before this live recording. Well, I say live recording. It is live at the time of this recording, but I don't know, man. If you want my initial reaction to what Labour have said in the House of Commons, as well as my reaction to the Reform UK VOD about how the party's gang gay. And I am going to quote Nigel Farage here, a general election funding, then I highly recommend that you copy the link to the VOD and use on Twitch. Because I tried to save the full live stream that I did, and unfortunately I could not because apparently I do not have enough space. I would have done the whole stream with the PNG tuber model and everything, but you know what? For the next video, I might as well just use a Chromebook. I don't know. If it's gonna be that long, you might not see the PNG tuber models. Definitely a Chromebook thing. Just letting you know.
Do be reforming the way we can stop the boats and actually stopping these individuals from coming in the country in the first place. But Labour don't seem to agree with that, or at least they just live in some echo chamber and just want to ignore the problem. Now, today in the Commons, of course, Shabana Mahmood was confronted on her plans and, of course, just giving the same old rhetoric time and time again as she just blames the previous government. That's not solutions. We want solutions, not problems that you're coming up with. As always, guys, let's have a watch of this, but first, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button.
My parents are very happy lately.
God damn it.
I bought them a pair of smart Zoom reading glasses.
The subscribe button for more.
Speaker, asylum hotels were a legacy of the last Conservative government. At their peak, there were 400 open across the country as asylum caseworking had ground to a halt. We have already restarted decision-making, increased returns, and opened new military sites. We are now closing asylum hotels, and by the end of this parliament, we will have shut every single one.
Again, I know I've said this before in my previous live stream, which I do want people to archive, and just to where you can put it if YouTube fails. But this is not something you should be doing, putting unvetted immigrants into military bases. Again, we don't know if any of them are terrorists, and I'm pretty sure people in Croper don't want their children to get raped, or beaten, or bruised, regardless of how many generations there are. This is pathetic. The sooner we get a reform UK government, the better.
Good Steinbeck.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Tories asylum hotels have divided communities and endangered vulnerable people in communities like Falkirk. But we must be honest, the Inverness Barracks proposal is controversial and will aggravate rather than cool community tensions in Scotland if there is no corresponding urgent movement to close hotels in Scotland. Will the Secretary of State join me this month in visiting Kemper Avenue to see firsthand why the cladding must now be fairly prioritised for closure in the hotel exit plan?
Well, what I would say to my honourable friend is that there are no easy options when you inherit an asylum system that is broken and you have asylum hotels opened by the party opposite in operation across the whole of the country. We do believe that large military sites are a better way of reducing the burden felt by communities across the country, including in Scotland. Let me reassure my honourable friend, by the end of this Parliament, we will get out of every single asylum hotel, including in his constituency.
That's some better.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Home Secretary, in her response, noted the speeding up of processing times. I wonder, though, is enough being done to speed up processing times? Because surely making sure that asylum seekers are processed as fast as possible is the route to closing the hotels.
Well, processing for asylum claims is at its highest, fastest rate for 20 years, so we are moving very quickly to deal with asylum claims. What she does know, though, I'm sure, is that many of those people then go on to appeal, and there is a backlog in the appeals at the court, and that is why we are going to reform our appeal system with legislation.
Did you hear her stirring? I know. Sorry if you're cringing at me and saying that, but did you just hear her stirring? She's not even doing it because, you know, she's trying to be funny or anything. She's doing it because not only is she lying, she's also afraid. Labour's days are numbered. And they know it. Because everyone who doesn't vote for Labour isn't gonna. The sooner we kick these cowards out, the better. Is all I'm gonna say.
Due later this year.
Doctor, we start with questions. Secretary of State for the Home Department, Jolly Dewhurst. Marvellous.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and with your permission, I will group this response with question 9. We were elected on a commitment to close all asylum hotels, and that's what we will do. In June 2024, there were 29,561 asylum seekers in hotels, which later peaked at 38,054 the following December, thanks to the awful legacy of the party opposite. As we've started to grip the crisis in asylum accommodation, those numbers are reduced to 36,273 in September 2025, with the next release of statistics coming at the end of this month, where I have absolutely no doubt that it will have fallen significantly even further.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, I think the Minister has just made it quite clear that since the general election, the numbers of individuals in asylum hotels has risen by 22%. Now, that clearly is at odds with his party's manifesto pledge. So can I ask the Minister what further action he is taking to reduce the number of individuals in migrant hotels? And can he guarantee the House that there will be no new migrant hotels in this country?
In such a dark night, while others can't see their hands in front of them, you can clearly capture...
Sorry about that.
That there will be no new migrant hotels in this country.
Some of these ads, man.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the honourable gentleman is undergoing an adventure in statistics, because he, of course, compared one statistic from before the season where crossings crossed with one at the end. So let's compare a like for like. Because in September 2023, the last time his colleagues here were in government, there were 54,000, more than 54,000 people in asylum accommodation. By September 2025, that number had reduced to 36,000. That's a reduction of a third. That is what's happening. We want to go further because, frankly, one is too many. So that's why we've introduced the asylum policy statement. That's why we're introducing the use of large sites, of course, opposed by his front bench. He talks about wanting to make sure there are no hotels closed. We won't open new hotels, but I will say, if he thinks that can be done, without opening large sites, well, those wrong, and the front bench will soon have to learn. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. A number of my constituents have written to me requesting details of the future of the George Hotel, which is one of the asylum hotels in Solihull Town Centre. Given the statistics that the Minister has just provided, can you provide some clarity to my constituents as to when the George will close?
Minister.
Well, I understand from the Honourable Gentleman, I've seen previous contributions he's made. I know for his community it's exceptionally important that that hotel is closed. It will be. I won't give a running commentary in the Chamber as to when each individual hotel will be closed, but my message for Solihull, my message indeed for any community that has a hotel, these were hotels opened by the Conservatives and they'll be closed by Labour.
Andrew Ranger.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Trust and confidence are the cornerstones of a functioning asylum system, yet both were damaged in Wrexham recently due to an unclear and poorly communicated proposal for large HMO to be used for asylum accommodation. Following years of Tory failure, we've inherited a chaotic system, wasteful contracts signed by the previous government that frequently bypass local input. Can the Minister please reassure my constituents that the Department is finally moving away from this inherited mess and reforming its strategy to ensure that local communities are fully informed and respected?
Minister.
I totally share my honourable friend's point. I know from my own community, I know from across the country, that when a system is orderly and controlled, the British public lean into it. We saw that with the Afghan scheme, the Syrian scheme, Homes for Ukraine, BNO. But when they are...
I'm just gonna say it, because I've seen the news, and I've seen what it's actually like, no matter what the mainstream media tried to peddle to me. I call bullshit! I call bullshit! I really do. The experiment failed. Get over it. Go home. Work at a McDonald's because they're shoddy and gross. You know, actually contribute to society.
Orderly and controlled, that's when people get frustrated. And one aspect, exactly as my honourable friend says, is through better engagement between the Home Office and local authorities to make sure that local authorities know where, perhaps in this case, HMOs may or may not be open, but also know what population needs to be supported, and the community can lean into it. So I can give him that absolute assurance that we will be working much more closely with local authorities to make sure they have that information.
What shit is he actually triping on about that at the end? Talking about, oh yeah, people will be happy to... No, they won't. People don't. Stop trying to gaslight people. No one wants these individuals in their local communities. So stop trying to take them from hotels which are in our local communities to the other. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And it's just one of those situations that Labour are just trying to gaslight everybody. It's just BS. It's complete and utter bullcrap. What they're saying about migrant hotels. They literally think that this is the main thing that people are concerned about. They're not. People are wanting them out of their community shit bust, and that is the reality here. What are your thoughts?
So yeah, that's the latest from British Stand, and this was during the live stream, I think, or the tail end of Reform UK's live stream. What are your opinions on Labour Party's complete and utter failure? Sorry, I'm stuttering again. And this time it's not because I'm lying to you guys. As if I would about my political views, don't worry. But what is your opinion of this entire situation? Feel free to drop your contempt for the Labour Party in the comment section down below. Also, if you could help out the channel in any way, shape, or form, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, especially subscribe, because clearly we don't want to live in a society where people like Jeff Bezos tells us that we should be happy owning nothing. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time, hopefully for another Let's Play or whatever else. Peace!